Tonight, millions of dollars in contracts up for grabs and Upper Gulf businesses are being urged not to miss out. And North's Jaden Kelly wins another Lionel Johnston medal, but not before a technical hitch.
This is Southern Cross News.
Hello, great to have your company. We start in Port Augusta, where the Federal Energy Minister has created a bit of a stir around the deal to pay for the new solar thermal power station. The Minister was quoted last week as saying the South Australian Government has yet to approach Canberra for a $110 million loan for the project. But that's not the case, according to Senator Nick Xenophon.
The solar thermal announcement sent waves of hope throughout Port Augusta, yet the Federal Energy Minister cast doubt on the project's go-ahead at Whyala's Energy Conference last week.
More than passing strange that both the company and the state government sought to make this announcement without coming to the federal government first.
The $110 million concessional equity loan is the result of a deal between the Xenophon team and the federal government in March before it was sealed in the federal budget in May. Senator Nick Xenophon describes Frydenberg's remark as political chess beating.
They obviously don't get on well, they obviously don't like each other, so whenever there's an opportunity to score points, whether it's at a press conference or to do with any major announcements, that's what you can expect.
Mayor Sam Johnson says the doubtful comments were disappointing to hear.
It's an exciting announcement. Solar reserve's going to happen. There was no need to come out and grab the political football out the cupboard and kick it around a little bit just to get sour grapes because someone was annoyed with something. Mr Xenophon says while both state and federal governments are flexing their political muscle around the announcement, the $110 million concessional equity loan is locked in the federal budget for solar thermal.
I want to be fair here. This is not so much one side or the other particularly politicising issue. It's about both sides politicising the issue because there is no love lost between the South Australian Labor government and the coalition government federally.
It's time for us all to sit back, regardless of political persuasions of who you are, what you are. Let's celebrate.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Meantime, businesses in Port Augusta, Whyalla and other Upper Gulf centres are being urged to make sure they're well positioned to chase any lucrative government contract work. John Hunt has more details.
Last week's Global Maintenance Conference detailed the billions set to be invested in the north of the state. But closer to home, $145 million will be spent by the state government on infrastructure projects in the Upper Spencer Gulf. It's a figure Whyala's local MP says will make a big difference.
We are really turning the corner, and this is going to benefit local businesses.
The state government declared the region an economic participation region last week. It means local businesses who tender will automatically obtain a 20% industry weighting. Mr Hughes says the new designation will help local small operators compete with the economies of scale of bigger businesses.
Sometimes it hurts small businesses in our region, so it's recognising that we have to level the playing field a bit.
The president of the Whyalla Chamber of Commerce says businesses across the three cities should be excited by the numbers.
You look at even 20% of that, we're talking in the region of, $28-29 million.
But he says local businesses in the Upper Spencer Gulf now have to put themselves in a position to win tenders.
Look at what they can offer and make certain that they can move forward with their businesses and offer what is required.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
2 people will face Port Augusta Magistrates Court next month, charged over a cannabis bust at a house last Friday. Police used a warrant to search the property and discovered 21 cannabis plants, as well as a quantity of dried leaves. Fire investigators have been back on the scene of Saturday's blaze, which destroyed a house in Broken Hill. Firefighters were called to the blaze on Patton Street in the city's south at around 4 a.m. to find the property well alight. The house was vacant and is now the second abandoned property to be destroyed by fire in the past month. This house on Will Street was also burnt to the ground in July. Plans for a new country club in Port Pirie have been shelved. Nearby residents felt the upgrade plans might encourage gambling and create too much noise in the area.
A deal now off the drawing board. The BH Club has decided to not partner with the Port Pirie Golf Club to build a new country club, withdrawing an application to move 20 poker machines over to the golf club.
The BH people have withdrawn their application to relocate, and I presume that means that nothing will happen before December. Then perhaps this has come to the end.
As president of the golf club, John Mullen is disappointed, but it's important to now move on.
We'll be back on our own without the BH Club.
Both clubs have been thinking big in their plans to build a venue that could showcase live music and create another key tourism pit stop.
We thought we were doing something for the betterment of this area by having a country club.
Many locals didn't want to comment on camera today, but say they are happy the deal isn't going ahead, saying the ideas behind the country club lacked thought. The live music until 2 in the morning would cause a serious disturbance to neighbouring properties, and building a walking trail through the golf course is extremely unsafe for pedestrians and will damage the greens. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Still to come, the ongoing search for a new location for Broken Hills Library. That's next on Southern Cross News. Welcome back. Broken Hill councillors are being urged to get back on track and find the city a new site for its library, preferably on the main street. Pat Reinke has more.
A new library here behind the Town Hall facade is one of the suggested locations for a new library in Broken Hill. Council's General Manager James Ronkin recommends that councillors vote in principle to support building a new library here in the CBD. Mr Ronkin says it's not a final decision. Community consultation will then be undertaken. Originally, the plan was to relocate the library to the former Pellew and Moore building in Argent Street. The plan was put on the back burner, though, after cost blowouts and concerns were raised about parking. If the councillors support the motion to build a new library, the plan to relocate would be scrapped. A report from State Library of New South Wales says the current building is 40% too small for a city of Broken Hill's size. And a recent inspection has revealed the current library is likely to contain asbestos, making it difficult to renovate without running up costs. One idea was to build on the car park directly behind the Town Hall facade and even incorporate the facade into the new facility. Mr Ronkin says thanks to a wide range of grant funding, there is a significant opportunity to help pay for construction. He is proposing a 3-month consultation process with the local community to hear their thoughts on whether to build a new library, refurbish the current one, or do nothing. A report would then be handed down at December's council meeting.
A man will face court for drink driving after crashing his car on Jenkins Avenue in Wailanori early on Saturday morning. The 28-year-old from Wailer Stewart was also charged with breaching licence conditions. A 50-year milestone for the Senior Citizens Club in Port Augusta, and there's been plenty to celebrate for one of the city's most dedicated and reliable bunch of volunteers.
It's described as the social club for the more mature. Port Augusta's Senior Citizens Club is celebrating a key milestone, turning the Big 50. The club president says it's all thanks to its dedicated members over the years.
We have good volunteers. We have 5 lifetime members. 4 of them are present members of the club. Yes, and they do a wonderful job. We appreciate their efforts. Yes.
The club plays an important role in connecting seniors in the community at a time of life when physical and mental well-being matters most.
There may be no other outlet for these senior citizens to get together and have a chat. Otherwise, they might be sitting home alone watching TV or radio or something, so it's wonderful.
Club members celebrated the event in true birthday style, complete with a raffle, cake and live music, with visiting musicians from other senior citizens clubs in the region.
Sandy and Rob have come along and they brought a couple of other friends which are also musicians, and there may be another surprise to entertain a bit later on.
The LG Riches Senior Citizens Centre in Port Augusta is abuzz with daily activities ranging from cards to crafts, and the president says anyone aged over 50 can join the club as they enter their next half century.
Please do come along, more the merrier. Yes, it's a wonderful outlet for people.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Meantime, kids in Whyalla have a new place to hang out while mum and dad kick back with a coffee. The new Play Cafe has opened at the Leisure Centre.
It's early days, but already this new play area seems to be a hit with the kids. The Whyalla Leisure Centre has opened a new play cafe, with management glad to bring something a little different to the city.
We're seeing other towns around the state getting the play cafes and indoor play equipment for kids, and it's something that Whyalla hasn't had yet, so we thought why not provide something for the Whyalla community.
The play area features a number of slides along with climbing activities and even an indoor flying fox. There's also an area for the smallest of children to play on and trampolines to help burn all that young energy.
Heaps of climbing equipment and things like that, so it's catered for basically any children up to 12 years old who want to come and have a play on it.
Ms Nitschke says the response so far has been positive, with after-school sessions being very popular. She says the cafe is a win for adults and kids, with children able to have a play, while the parents have a few moments to relax.
And we've got the kiosk as well, so Mum and Dad can have a coffee and something to eat and sort of sit in here and relax while the kids run around and wear out some energy.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
When we return after the break, a dramatic night at Broken Hill's Big Footy Awards. That's next on Southern Cross News. To our Monday footy wrap now, and let's go to Jason Kemp in Port Lincoln, where the season is continuing to throw up more surprises. And Jace, there was one result many didn't see coming.
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. It was a remarkable last round to decide who plays finals this year. Waybacks rallied against unbeaten Mallee Park, ending their winning streak. Meanwhile, Tasman's upset Lincoln South, but narrowly missed finals due to percentage. In the Spencer Golf League, Solies continue their hot form heading into finals with a strong win over Centrals. Meanwhile, South Augusta took the points and the bragging rights from across-town rivals West. In the closest game of the round, the Lions steamed home in the final quarter to defeat bottom-place Port. Across in Whyalla, the town witnessed one of the closest finals in recent history. The Roos and Centrals meeting for a spot in the prelim. Centrals quickly opened up scoring, piling on 6 goals to nothing in the first quarter. But some bad misses in front of goal kept the margin to just 15 points at half-time. Centrals again opened with a flurry after the break, stretching the margin out to 29 points. But in a spectacular fight back, the Roos came within a kick, going down by just a single point. In the Silver City, North and South met for a berth in the grand final. North was strong early, opening up a 2-goal lead. Central struggling to remain within a kick at half-time. North looked in trouble in the third term, but rallied during the final change to run out 19-point winners and a spot in the grand final against South next week. Over in the other leagues, Ayr United knocked out Tumby Bay in the first semi-final, Ayr proving too strong all around the ground, winning by 17 points. They'll play the loser of next week's top-of-the-table clash between United and the Ramblers. Over on the York Peninsula, Centrals knocked out Southern Eagles to advance next week, where they'll meet Moonta, who had a narrow loss over the Crows. In the northern areas, Orroroo made short work of Southern Flinders and are now a game away from a grand final berth. So there you have it, Nicole. There's plenty happening in all the leagues as we near the point end of the season. Tomorrow night we'll be back to bring the latest results from Netball Soccer. Back to you.
Thanks, Jason. Meantime, Broken Hill has named its best and fairest at the annual Lionel Johnston Medal Night, but not before a slight glitch in proceedings, as Patrick Reinke reports.
It's a night that celebrates the best of Broken Hill footy, from Auskick through to A-grade. A strong crowd packed into the Gary Radford Pavilion on Sunday night to honour the league's best players, officials and volunteers, from West, Central, North and South. The night started off well with the return of beloved MC, John Knocky Campbell. Logan Berryman won the McDonald's medal for Best Under-15 player, while South's Lachlan McKenzie claimed the honours in the Under-13s. Nothing could split the Player of the Year award for the Under-18s, though, which saw a tie between Central's Harry Campbell and West's Sage Hocking. Eliza Cumming capped off her cracking season for the Red and White, taking out the Jean Corey medal for being the best player in the women's comp. Something she was not expecting.
Well, I didn't think I played that good. When you look back at that, it's a good season, that's for sure. And I wouldn't have been able to get this medal without the girls. They're an awesome bunch, and through training, they're always getting around me and making me feel a part of the team. And
a photo with Mum and Dad had to be taken. As Sam Lyons was named Player of the Year for the reserves, it was time for the round-by-round count of the Lionel Johnston medal. North's Jaden Kelly was a hot favourite to take it out, having won the male medal, which is voted on by the umpires, just before, in a tie with South's Mark Purcell. While he and Purcell got their pictures taken, A PowerPoint blunder revealed who the medal winner was before a single vote was read out, confirming what everyone predicted. The live count was ran regardless, with the result unbeknown to the future winner.
I actually didn't know until about round 10 when my girlfriend actually told me that what had happened, and I was thinking that everyone was on the edge of their seat.
Jayden finished with a resounding 31 votes and a 5th Lionel Johnston medal, making him the second player in league history to accomplish such a feat.
Yeah, to win 5 of these is something I'll look back on when I'm older and be very proud of.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
They say the sign that times are good is when there's plenty of building work happening in a town. And in Coolunga south of Port Pirie, the local bowling club is being knocked down and rebuilt after council signed off on some funding towards the reno.
With pests and rodents contaminating the old kitchen, the Coolunga Bowling Club has seen the area out of action for a number of months. As a part of the overall upgrade of the club, Port Pirie Council has granted $5,000 to help combat the ongoing issue.
It was in a really bad state of repair, and as we know, with all kitchen facilities, they need to be up to a standard that, requires a health department.
The kitchen renovation is a priority, with volunteers unable to cater in a sanitary environment for competitors in community events.
Upgrade our kitchen just to make it more hygienic for our tournaments and our weekly games.
The Small Lawn Bowls Club is one of 2 receiving benefits from the Port Pirie Council's Community Assistance Fund.
We can't gain a lot of money through the tournaments and so forth, so the grants will help us out a great deal.
And Coolunga Bowls is now hoping the upgrade will encourage players from near and far to join the club. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Stay with us after the break. Your Tuesday forecast and warmer temps are on the way. Time to see how your local weather is shaping up for the week, and it looks as it's going to be much warmer than what we had today. Port Augusta topped the maximums today for a sunny 17 degrees, 15 for Whyalla. It was cloudy and 14 in Port Lincoln, and Adelaide was fine but chilly for 13. On the satellite, that latest cold front is creating some high cloud over the southeast, but skies are generally clear, meaning some sub-zero nights in some places. On the water tomorrow, the winds will be from the south-southwest at 10 knots, seas up to 1 metre. Sunrise will be at 6:44, while sunset will be a few minutes before 6. Tonight, Port Augusta will dip down to -1 with 0 in Broken Hill and Clare. Tomorrow, skies will be mainly fine, with the exception of Woodner. Temps will sit around 15 or 16 degrees. To the 4-day outlooks now, and you'll notice that spring is going to make its debut by Friday. Port Lincoln will see things warm up to around 20 degrees by then. Cleve will also be able to ditch the hoodie for 21 on Friday. And Woodner is going to stay sunny and mild for 23 on Thursday. In Whyalla, the next few days will also become spring with warmer conditions. Port Augusta is going to work its way towards a top of 25 by Friday. And in Kadina, there's a cool one tomorrow, but not for long, with 20 to wrap up your week. And Port Pirie is also going to enjoy a milder run of weather, 21 for Thursday and 23 on Friday. Cleve a little cooler than the rest, but sunny, and Broken Hill will see temps edge up each day with a sensational 23 degrees to finish the week on. That's your local news for this evening. You can stay in touch via Facebook and Twitter, and you can also see any of tonight's stories again on our YouTube channel. I'm Nicole Johnston. Thanks for your company, and we'll see you again tomorrow night for Southern Cross News. Bye for now.